Good morning to all of you joining us from Northern Ireland, and good evening and good afternoon from those of you in Australia and from across the APAC region. It's great to see so many familiar names registered for today's webinar. For those of you that don't know me, my name is Richard Ennis and I'm Invest Northern Ireland's Regional Director for Australia and New Zealand. I would like to officially welcome you all to today's webinar, Spotlight on Australia, MedTech and Digital Health, where we will be discussing the life, health and science sector in Australia and why you should consider Australia as an export destination. We will also explore how to export to Australia, the regulatory environment, and the trends and opportunities in the medtech and digital health subsectors. I also want to extend a very warm welcome to our speakers today, Mirna Sarihodovich, Principal Consultant of Foley, Dr. David Batka, Senior Consultant from Adjutor Healthcare, Gary Lee from the UK Department of Business and Trade, FTA Utilisation Team, and Jonathan Tierney of Seeding Matters, an Invest NI export champion. Last but not least, our moderator for today's webinar and the Life, Health and Science Sector Lead in Australia and New Zealand, Jai Cheng. Thanks again, everyone. I hope you find the information in today's webinar useful, and I look forward to the opportunity of supporting you and welcoming you in Australia soon. Without further ado, over to you, Jai.
Thanks, Richard, for that kind introduction. Hello, everyone. My name is Jai Cheng, and I'm the Regional Officer for Trade and Investment here in the ANZ region. I have been in the role for 17 months, and during that time, I have worked with and assisted over 50 Northern Irish companies entering or expanding into the ANZ market. In terms of supporting our client companies here on the ground, as Richard mentioned, I have a focus on life and health science sector, and my role is to assist Invest Northern Ireland client companies here in the market directly. We support you by providing market research, facilitate direct connections with local stakeholders. We also provide introductions, conduct business matching, and arrange meetings with potential customers and potential distribution partners. In addition, we also support our client companies on inward visits to conferences, exhibitions, meet the buyer events, and individual or sector trade missions. Some of you might remember and have participated in our previous Spotlight webinar in 2022, where Australian life and health science sector in general was covered. Since then, in the post-COVID era, a lot has changed across the world. Australia is no different. There was a rising demand for digital technologies and an increased adoption for medtech technologies. In today's webinar, we will update you on what has changed in Australian medtech and digital health in the last 3 years. The aim of today's webinar is really to help you understand and get you prepared for entering the Australian market. I'd also just like to echo Richard's comments and extend my gratitude and welcome today's webinar speakers from our local partners and partners across government to share their knowledge with you today. Kicking off the speakers, Mirna Sarihodovich will be providing a market update and an in-depth overview on the Australian life and health science market. We will then gain insights into the Australian regulatory environment from Dr. David Batka, Senior Consultant from Adjutor Healthcare, who will give us an overview on therapeutic goods administration and things to bear in mind when filing a TGA conformity assessment application. Gary Lee from the FTA Utilisation Team will provide insights into the benefits of the free trade agreement between Australia and the UK. Then we'll hear from Mirna again, who will elaborate on the trends and opportunities for Northern Irish companies in Australia. And finally, you'll hear from one of our export champions, Seating Matters, Jonathan Tierney, Commercial Director, who will share his experiences and the challenges of building a successful business in Australia. After the keynote sessions, I will share Invest Northern Ireland's planned activities for life and health science in Australia in 2025. Finally, we will have a Q&A session. So if there's any questions that spring to mind during the webinar, please put them in the chat and we will do our best to pick them up at the end of the session.